Hey, Movie Motion Recaps is here. Today I will discuss an activity/science fiction film called Logan's Run. Spoilers ahead. Look out, and fare thee well. The story is set in the 23rd 100 years, where drawn-out times of war, overpopulation, and contamination have cleared out huge wraps of human culture. The survivors currently dwell in a monster-domed city and carry on with a gluttonous life where a strong artificial intelligence gives each fundamental need. In this idealistic world, children are just brought into the world in counterfeit chambers utilizing sperm and eggs gave by grown-ups. The infants, each with a gemstone encrusted on the palm, are then raised by the simulated intelligence until the gemstone sparkles with various tones relying on the age of the individual. In any case, in a stunning turn, when an individual turns 30, the gemstone becomes red, and they are effortlessly ended in a public ceremony called a carousel. Most residents of the domed city accept that the ended people are restored as babies. In any case, a part of individuals trust it to be mistaken. Common residents take off when they turn 30 and are known as the Sandman merry-go-round. To stop them, notwithstanding the city has a high level in the current day, the occasion Sandman is named version 5 and his partner Francis 7 join a huge at the point when the ceremonial starts. The 30-year-olds enter the stage with clearly cheers. They wear caped outfits and covers and wait around a monster lotus set in the middle. Then, splendid light emissions encase the stage, subsequently, which starts turning. The covered individuals, individually, float up towards the wellspring of the pillar. As the accumulated crowd drones recharge. The covered individuals are hit with light emissions, disintegrating them on the spot. The general population detonates in cheers as they accept that these ended individuals are currently renewed as infants. Francis and Logan are engaged in the service when out of nowhere, the last option receives a message on his specialized gadget. He is informed that there is a sprinter attempting to get away from the city through the western wall. Thus, Logan quickly passes on to manage what is happening and is firmly trailed by Francis. They before long arrive at the western wall. Thus, Logan quickly passes on to manage what is happening and is firmly trailed by Francis. They before long arrive at the western wall and pursue the sprinter utilizing a high-level filtering gadget. Ultimately, Poor People Man is cornered against an overhang, which is high up in the wall. He is so frantic to leave this pitiful city that he bounces and tumbles to his demise. In the result of this occurrence, Logan utilizes his scanner to actually look at the lawbreaker's character. Shockingly, the dead body of the sprinter has an altogether unique face from the photograph in the city's data set. The scanner reasons that the crook had gone through surface level a medical procedure prior to attempting to get away. Logan then, at that point, requires the tidy-up group and takes the sprinter's assets. It incorporates a little metal pendant formed like a cross yet with a curve on the top. He and Francis then, at that point, leave the scene, and soon the cleanup group shows up. That evening, Logan goes to his rich Sandman loft and uses a machine named Matrix. It is a genuine dating application where various individuals enter themselves in a chamber and get haphazardly coordinated with others. Logan coordinates with a delightful little kid named Jessica 6, who genuinely shows up in his condo through network. She is wearing fairly odd jewelry whose pendant is indistinguishable from the cross that Logan viewed as before from the sprinter. Notwithstanding, he overlooks it and attempts to get private with her. Shockingly, she says no, making sense of that she's inclination miserable in the wake of losing a dear companion in the present carousel. This perplexes Logan, and he is additionally upset when Jessica says End is just a ruthless demonstration of killing individuals. In spite of finding her viewpoints unusual, Logan continues demanding getting private with her. Yet, she turns him down, making sense of she simply needed to perceive how Sandmen live. She additionally asks why it's inappropriate to take off from the city. Logan at long last snaps back, thinking that she may be a sprinter. In any case, Jessica brings up that she is as yet youthful and has quite far to go before she can be ended. Their discussion is intruded on by Francis, who shows up with two lovely young ladies. Jessica makes a move to leave the house while Logan joins his partner and the two young ladies. The next day, Logan and Francis enter the Sandman Central Command while talking about the development of facial medical procedures. Logan contemplates whether the doctors in Facility 443 might be assisting rebels with getting such methods. Inside the Central Command, he submits every one of the seized objects, including the bizarre cross from prior. To his surprise, the PC takes more time than expected to examine these things. Unexpectedly, the artificial intelligence assumes control over the examining system and orders Logan to sit before a huge screen for addressing. A confounded Logan obliges and the simulated intelligence finds out if he can recognize the cross image. He answers that he has no clue about what it is. The simulated intelligence then, at that point, inquires as to whether he understands what safe haven signifies, and Logan answers that he doesn't. It is then uncovered that the cross image is called an Ankh, and safe haven alludes to a mysterious refuge for lawbreakers. Computer-based intelligence ascertains. The computer-based intelligence ascertains that these two things are firmly connected with the 1,056 sprinters who escaped the domed city. This totally astounds Logan, and he calls attention to that regardless of whether the sprinters get away from the city, they should ultimately kick the bucket and be recharged subsequent to turning 30. However, the computer-based intelligence doesn't reply, and Logan starts to wonder whether the establishment was ever genuine. Out of nowhere, the artificial intelligence approves Logan to enter the city's walls and pass on to get this multitude of sprinters. This befuddles our legend as there's nothing outside the vault which is a reality educated to each resident from their experience growing up. He asks about it, however the man-made intelligence indeed stays quiet. All things being equal, it orders Logan to profess to be a sprinter so he can find and obliterate the safe haven, which is a mysterious hideaway for lawbreakers. Whenever he brings up that the shade of his gemstone will part with his goals, the artificial intelligence illuminates long periods of his life. Presently Logan's gemstone shines red, demonstrating that he is moving toward the 30th year of his life. The Sandman frenzies and wants to find out whether he will get the years back in the wake of finishing the mission. Yet, the artificial intelligence overlooks his inquiry and orders him to promptly snatch the Ankh and leave. Upset by this experience, Logan calls Jessica to his condo that evening. He thinks she has had some significant awareness of the Ankh and safe haven since their most memorable gathering. Accordingly, he shows her the condition of his pearl, saying he needs to take off as opposed to being ended. Jessica is exhausted and imagines she doesn't know anything. However, Logan shows the Ankh, which matches the pendant on her jewelry. He likewise utilizes the word safe haven to inspire her to put stock in his story. Nonetheless, Jessica blames him for getting the Ankh subsequent to killing a sprinter. Thinking his expectations are bad, she leaves his chateau, ignorant that Logan is following her tactfully. Then, she goes to the shopping center to spend time with her companions. Unbeknownst to Logan, who sneaks close by, her companions are essential for a mystery gathering of sprinters. They advise her to kill Logan since he knows a lot about their privileged insights. A couple of days after the fact, Jessica goes to Logan's house and requests that he visit the arcade with her. She deceives him about needing to help when truly she's simply driving him into a snare. Yet, prior to anything can occur, Logan gets a warning about another sprinter. This time, the crook is on the edges of the domed city called the church building. Jessica demands joining the Sandman in this mission, and he hesitantly concurs. On the way, she inquires as to whether Whelps, a posse of youthful sprinters, is basically as wild as the tales propose. She asks this in light of the fact that the House of God is scandalous for being the home to a few posses of whelps. Logan says the reports are valid, and soon enough, they arrive at their objective, is basically as wild as the tales propose. She asks this in light of the fact that the House of God is scandalous for being the home to a few posses of whelps. Logan says the reports are valid, and soon enough, they arrive at their objective. Jessica attempts to pursue her, yet Logan cautions her that this might be a snare. He then, at that point, utilizes his scanner and finds the sprinter which he was advised about. However, before he can move, a group of whelps leaps out of the shadows and encompasses them. Their chief undermines the Sandman, yet Logan tranquilly says he feels frustrated about him. He brings up that the pioneer will before long turn 15 years of age, so, all in all he will be too old to even consider staying in a whelps group. Consequently, the more youthful gangsters will toss him out. This delivers a snapshot of dithering in the pioneer, and Logan utilizes the valuable chance to discharge a few admonition shots. The gangsters move frightened and quickly run off, dispersing every which way. Following this, Logan utilizes his scanner once more and finds the sprinter, who ends up being a lady. Logan says he needs to help her arrive at the asylum and even shows her the Ankh. However, the lady is ignorant regarding these things, leaving Logan no choice except for to find the whelps again for a dressing. Unbeknownst to him, Francis follows him to the church building and hears everything. Similarly as Logan and Jessica abandon the lady, Francis sneaks close by and kills the sprinter. Out of the House of God, Jessica concedes that she was formerly attempting to kill Logan, however, presently, she really trusts his expectations. Be that as it may, she actually won't take him to the mysterious refuge of the sprinters, since they won't ever trust a Sandman. Logan utilizes this chance to acquire her trust considerably more and declares that he needs another face, which will make it harder for him to be recognized. Accordingly, the couple goes to facility 443. At the facility, the specialist, who upholds the sprinters, pulls Jessica to the side. He communicates his distrust about Logan's actual goals, accepting that a Sandman can never attempt to take off from the domed city. Be that as it may, after Jessica's consolation, he consents to proceed the strategy. Similarly, as the medical procedure is going to start, the specialist gets an unknown call. In spite of the fact that he doesn't get out whatever he heard without holding back, he requests that Logan rests on the table. He then utilizes the medical procedure lasers to go after him. However, Jessica understands what's happening and drives the specialist over the controls, causing a cut on Logan's chest. Following this, the two men get into a fight, and Logan figures out how to push his rival onto the surgical table. The medical procedure lasers then cut through and kill the specialist in a horrendous way. As of now, Francis appears. Following this, the two men get into a fight, and Logan figures out how to push his rival onto the surgical table. The medical procedure lasers then cut through and kill the specialist in a horrendous way. As of now, Francis appears. Jessica guides Logan through a mystery burrow. In the long run, the couple comes to an unwanted region, which is the hideaway of the sprinters. This is enough for the sprinters to put stock in Logan's story, and they give him headings to the asylum. All at once, an enormous blast shoots through the mass of the refuge, and a few Sandmen, including Francis, enter. Logan utilizes this valuable chance to take off with Jessica while taking shots at his associates to safeguard her. The couple starts running again until they arrive at an entryway that requires a knock to open it. Jessica eliminates her jewelry, which slips and falls into the water beneath her. In this way, Logan utilizes the one he took from the dead sprinter, all things being equal. The entryway opens, and the two enter just before it closes once more, leaving Francis outside. Notwithstanding, he sees Jessica's accessory in the water and recovers it. He then opens the entryway and before long revisitations of the pursuit. In the meantime, the team winds up on the lift, bringing them into a frozen room loaded up with ice models of various creatures. Before long, a frightening robot named Box appears and declares it has nourishment for them. Logan and Jessica get some information about the safe haven and different sprinters who have gotten away from the domed city. Box then, at that point, takes them to one more space to uncover a sickening turn. Every one of the sprinters have been frozen in ice and are utilized to take care of individuals living in the city. This room used to be where food was conveyed.
Nonetheless, when the food supply halted quite a long while prior, Box started capturing sprinters, all things being equal. Presently, the unpleasant robot needs to collect Logan and Jessica as well. Before long, a battle follows, and a few fizzled lasers from Box make the entire spot disintegrate. Logan and Jessica utilize the interruption to take off and in the long run arise onto the side of a mountain. When outside, they notice that their gemstones are presently clear and at this point not heavily influenced by the artificial intelligence. Wandering further, they find that vegetation has invaded a significant part of the remaining parts of human development. They investigate the close-by region, which once used to be the public shopping center in Washington, D.C. Inside the remains of the U.S. Senate chamber, they find an old man with a few pet felines. This shocks them both as neither had at any point seen an individual this old. The elderly person doesn't actually recall his name and makes sense of that he has scarcely seen one or two individuals previously. Unexpectedly, a chilly acknowledgement day breaks on Logan and Jessica. The safe haven is a fantasy. Be that as it may, their concerns go from awful to more terrible as Francis has followed them as far as possible. A